After the March for Life is over, what are you going to go home and do? Every year, the March for Life draws over 300,000 pro-life people to Washington, D.C. to declare their opposition to abortion. What do most of these people do when we go home? There's only 689 abortion clinics left in America. That's over 400 March for Life attendees for every one single abortion clinic. Are there over 400 people dedicated to shutting down each abortion clinic? There are only 50 state capitals in America. That's more than 6,000 March for Life attendees for every state capital. Are there 6,000 anti-abortion people camped outside the state houses and governor's mansions of every state capital, insisting that all government grind to a halt until the Holocaust of abortion is ended? There's only 256 cities in America with populations over 100,000. That's over 1,000 March for Life attendees for every major metropolitan city in America. Are there over 1,000 people trying to educate and change the culture in these major American cities? I hope you understand my point. There's a whole lot that we could be doing that we're not doing, and this is probably the reason why it's taken so long to make any headway against abortion. This is not a coincidence. Much of the pro-life establishment has fostered this ideology that the average pro-lifer needs to do nothing more than pray, vote, and give money to pro-life organizations. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through a few major pro-life websites to show you what I'm kind of talking about. We'll start here with the March for Life. March for Life does encourage people to march, once a year. Big whoop. What do you do the rest of the year? So it says take action here. What do they want you to do to take action? Click on that. Okay, says our voices should be heard. March for Life takes the collective voices of millions of marchers where? Well, to Capitol Hill, all year round. So that sounds like voting and asking politicians to change policy. We work to create a legislative culture at the federal and state levels. Okay, pro-life legislation is passed. So again, looks like they're basically encouraging people to vote for things and contact legislators and tell them to enforce the laws that we want to be enforced, which is not a bad thing, but it doesn't take much effort from most people. It's us telling other people to do their jobs. All right, so Americans United for Life, they're a pretty large, very influential pro-life group, and they're doing lobby stuff. They're lobbying politicians. What do we have to do to help? Give. Okay, we donate, and I think that's all. Yep, I think that's all. Okay, and same thing with Family Research Council. You can look at this website. They don't really have any plan for ordinary people to do things. They just want people to know about stuff and to give them money and vote the proper way, which is, again, not absolutely bad, but it doesn't require very much of ordinary people and is not tapping into the enormous potential of those people. Susan B. Anthony list. We already do them? No, we didn't do them. Susan B. Anthony list, same thing. In fact, you click on Get Involved, and it tells you what? It tells you ways to give them money. Yeah, so being involved to the SBA list means giving SBA money so they will help elect the people they want to be elected. Not bad, but not really a requirement for the average person. Not really a big burden for the average person. 40 Days for Life, popular pro-life group, organizes these prayer vigils where people will stand outside abortion clinics and pray. What are they composed of? They are composed of prayer and fasting. Okay, so they're requiring people to pray, which is good, but it's not very labor intensive. Constant vigil outside abortion clinics. So this means people pray outside abortion clinics as opposed to praying at home or in church. Now it requires people to go to the abortion clinic, I guess, at least once during the course of the campaign, which lasts about 40 days, every twice a year. But that's it. Yeah, some people are going to be holding these signs, which might count as some kind of form of activism out there. Folks might see them. But that's basically it. They're just asking people to pray once in a while in a different location. Now there is this aspect called community outreach, which I give them props for promoting. If you can find a 40 Days for Life campaign that is proactively doing this community outreach thing, I'd like to hear about them. I don't think any of them are doing it. You know, they say here community outreach involves church outreach, visiting pastors and so forth, but really that's just asking pro-life people to come pray at the vigil. Yeah, I don't know anybody that does these door-to-door petition drives or whatever, or goes to talks to people about abortion at their homes. So while this is here, I don't think it's really a real thing most of the time. Live Action is a very successful pro-life group. I respect them. I like what they do online, the videos they produced. I know that probably changes hearts and minds. What are they asking ordinary people to do? All right, so you click on Get Involved, and it gives you these 5 ways to get involved. Be an expert. All right, so learn about pro-life stuff. Learn about abortion and, you know, why it's bad. Be a friend, which, you know, appears to be, you know, just connect with Live Action so they can send you updates. Be an advocate over here. I'll skip to number 4. Well, be an ambassador, as I understand, means, you know, just promise to promote Live Action campaigns when they come out with them, which are generally speaking some online campaign to promote their latest video and so forth. Be an advocate, which we'll click on in a second. Be a life defender, which means, again, give money to Live Action. Not bad, but doesn't take much from ordinary pro-life people. And be an advocate. What does it mean to be an advocate? Let's see. You sign this petition, and it tells you, I pledge to stand for life. What are you pledging? I pledge to speak the truth about abortion and defend preborn children. Well, how? Well, it says, I will be a digital activist for preborn children, sharing Live Action content. All right, so it does require you to do something, but the something is entirely digital. You're not going anywhere. You're not having face-to-face conversations with anybody. You're not taking a real risk of any sort. I guess it's requiring you to do something, but it's requiring, you know, most people spend a lot of time online anyway. It's not terribly hard. I think what they mean is share stuff with your friends. I don't know too many people that go to pro-abortion, you know, groups online and try to promote pro-life stuff, although I guess you could. Always promote the protection of innocent human life. Support legislative initiatives. Okay, so again, voting and, you know, petition drives and so forth, stuff that has to do with voting. Support pregnancy resource centers and charities. Well, there's different ways to support those things, but most people are going to read this and interpret, well, I just need to give the PRC or charity money. That's how they're going to interpret it. And I think most PRCs would just accept your money without asking any questions. So again, most of what they're asking people to do is just vote, pray, and donate. This is a Students for Life production. Okay, now Students for Life, they're kind of a different gambit. They have a lot of stuff they claim to be doing. What do these things consist of? Here's our plan for ending abortion. How you can be involved in the plan to end abortion. All right, so got to reverse Roe v. Wade. Well, that happened. That didn't take much from the average pro-life person, did it? Enshrine protection for human life in the womb into law. Okay, once again, vote. Vote the proper way, and that will be the solution. Defund Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry. Okay, well, I mean, they should be defunded naturally, but what does this require of the average person? Well, again, it's going to require them to vote for politicians that are going to defund them. Because when it means defund, it means defund them of government money. End the chemical abortion cartel. Okay, that's important. I mean, chemical abortion is terrible. How do you do that? Enact new state and federal laws. Okay, again, voting. End the sale and distribution of chemical abortion pills via the mail, which is currently prohibited by the law. in certain circumstances. Okay, so if it's prohibited by law, what are they asking us to do? Well, if I can guess, it means tell legislators to crack down on the chemical abortion trade. So again, we're asking politicians to do things. We're voting, or we're asking them to back up our vote. Enforce existing laws. How are we going to enforce existing laws? We're not going to. We're going to petition the government to do it. Require emergency rooms and other healthcare entities to accurately report chemical abortions. How are we going to require that? Well, we're not going to. We're going to petition politicians to do it. And it goes on and on and on. Again, all these things are things that most of us cannot do. We have to just ask legislators to do. Promote adoption and support pregnant and parenting women on campus. Well, there's different ways to do that. But again, I can tell you that most people are going to read this, and what they're going to interpret it to mean is we're going to give money to groups that do that. I'm not myself going to do anything. I'm going to be inert most of the time. I'm just a pocketbook for them. So I would submit to you that, this gives an example of how most anti-abortion groups are not asking ordinary people to do much. They're just asking us to pray, vote, and donate money. There are pro-life organizations that are exceptions to this general rule, but they're usually not the most popular. They're not the ones you hear about. And I understand why. Who's incentivized to go throughout your community and try to change hearts and minds or do anything substantive or labor-intensive when you could just get by praying, voting, and donating money? Given the choice between working hard and asking other people to work, I think I understand why most people choose the latter. I suppose we have made some progress in the last 50 years towards ending abortion. But think of how much better we could do if more people were actually involved in the fight. And shouldn't we be? Shouldn't every life matter? And shouldn't we be trying to end abortion as fast as possible? Revelation 3:2 Project requests that every anti-abortion person take what we call the 2% challenge and dedicate 2% of each week, that's about 3.5 hours, specifically to the goal of ending abortion. We don't think that's too much to ask. If you're interested in taking the 2% challenge, please reach out to the Revelation 3:2 Project at GetSeriousChurch.com.